Welcome back to Alumni Stadium. Bruins currently with a 2-0 cushion over John Wesley. I'm joined here by Coach Bright and some of the members of the Bruins cross-country team. Thank you guys so much for joining us, Coach.
Yeah, thanks for having it. Appreciate it.
Let's talk a little bit about this season. We've kind of burst out onto the scene in 2017. Obviously, a couple of really good individual performances, but really good performances by the team as well. What do you think has been key to the success so far?
Yeah, I think just overall we got a lot more depth this year. Guys, I don't think in our history have had a group this close together. So that's really been a strength of ours. We still got to do some work up front, but overall we're healthy and guys are training great, and we got some good training groups going on. Ladies, same thing, just a lot more depth, much stronger, 1 through 5. And I think the big thing at the end of the day is just not a ton of injuries. A few things here and there, but long term, the health of the team has been to the point to where we're really able to train effectively and have some pretty hard sessions, all 23 of us. So it's been really positive in that sense. And still unsure, what we got. We've had 2 hard courses early on this year. And so I'm looking forward to kind of see what we can do once we get on a flatter course against some good competition.
You talked about the depth. I want to elaborate on that a little bit more. As on a team, why is that so important?
When we run, I run everybody, and so you just never know when someone's going to have an off day. So it's just nice to have people capable of just kind of stepping in if maybe someone has an off day, and so that's important. And then just for training, just guys and ladies being able to have groups of 3, 4, 5 kind of similar abilities, able to train together and then hopefully push up to the next group. And then, just have everybody put that pressure on each other to, know that you can't take your spot, guaranteed. There might be someone right behind you ready to take over. So,
as you guys work throughout the season, I know you always talk about finishing well and making sure you're running your best when it comes to November. How do you, I every single time we do an interview like this, for those people that are not, familiar with cross country, they think, when you go out to a race, it's just give 100% and do the best of your ability. There is some pacing involved, because you've got to make sure that you don't overexert yourself so that when, nationals come around and the final postseason tournaments come around, you still have enough gas in the tank.
Yeah, within a race and also within the season, there's, pacing involved to where we want to train smart and race smart, not necessarily race hard or train hard all the time. So within a race, we got to have both the men and the women have to have the ability to get out pretty quick and be able to maintain that without dying, because in some of our races there's a couple hundred people. So I mean, if you have a bad last mile, you could get passed by 50 people, and the way the scoring works, that's going to do a lot of damage to what you're trying to do. So for example, the guys, some races they'll have to get out, 5 to 5:15 flat and not necessarily hold that pace, but be able to, be pretty close to that throughout the race. So, it definitely is a component of going out and giving 100%, but you got to be able to race smart at the same time, because if you do that, then you're going to have a bad race at the end of the day. So.
All righty. Well, Coach has talked a little bit about what's been going on in the season. Let's get a little bit behind the scenes of the guys that actually do the running. We'll talk to some of the players here. I'm joined by Nathan, Seth, and Maddie of the cross-country teams. I just want to talk about, a lot of people that are watching not necessarily familiar with cross-country. They didn't run it. They've seen it. They probably know somebody who's been a part of it. And I want to talk about a little bit of the mental capacity of it. Some people think, all you guys do is just go out and run, which is kind of true, but there's some strategy and things involved. So maybe Nathan, if we can start with you a little bit about, just the mental capacity of it. What does it take to be a competitive cross-country runner?
Well, I think a lot of it's just a lot of mental discipline, Obviously it's an endurance sport, so, you're going out there, you're trying to keep that pace up for a long time. And a lot of it's being smart about, like Coach was saying, getting out, but at the same time not going out too hard, being able to maintain a good pace. Part of it is just staying with the guys that you've trained with a while, and that those are the guys that you need to be with throughout the race to keep you in a good spot at the end. So,
yeah. Seth, let's talk a little bit about, I know you guys are very close. 6 a.m. practices will do that, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
But as you guys are running, talk about the bond with teammates. You guys are running in the wee hours of the morning, opportunity to talk, to fellowship with your teammates and push each other at the same time.
I think that's true. Like, we're all at 6 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, we're not awake at that point really, but we're all there together doing it. So honestly, like, if we didn't have our team, we wouldn't stay motivated and wouldn't be out here at 6 o'clock in the morning by yourself doing it. So I think being with the team really helps you, like, be motivated and come out and push yourself harder every day, really.
And as a student athlete, obviously cross country is important, but as Bruins and as Christian student athletes, there's obviously a bigger goal than that. Can you talk a little bit about some of the emphasis from coach and others about kind of the spiritual side of why we do what we do?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we actually talked about that as a team. Like, make sure when we meet together in the mornings and after practice sometimes, just to pray for each other's on the week. And it's really good in the mornings to do that because we go out. In the morning, yeah, we run, but yeah, we're also praying for each other out during the day and after meets and before meets and stuff like that. Yeah.
All right, let's talk to Maddie. Obviously, the brightest one, as you can tell from the cross country here. Maddie, you guys have had success this year on the women's side of things. You even got National Student Athlete of the Week for your performance. Coach mentions is some more of the depth and the way that you guys have battled injury last year. How do you think the team's looking this year?
I'm very excited about the season and the performance and looking forward to see what the women's team as well as the men can do. Coach did mention a lot of depth. We have some new runners that have really pushed me personally and challenged me to not settle for where I'm at and to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. So that's kind of been my motto this season, and I think overall as a women's team we are trying to not settle with our times and paces.
You have an opportunity to influence a lot of the younger runners that are in, the freshmen and underclassmen that have come in. What is the biggest thing that you tell those players, those runners, as they come into the collegiate running game?
To embrace the experience, because there are days, like Coach said, that are not going to be your on days or difficult days, and to lean into that and to really learn to rise up with adversity through the Lord's strength and through our teammates and coaches, and not depend on just yourself.
All righty. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us, and thank you. We'll be back for second half action right after this.